Welcome to one casual retail player's journey back in time to his youth and where it all began. Join me as we compare and contrast then and now in an epic journey from retail to classic. Welcome back. You join us as we glide through the skies and over the forest, through the lands unknown and into the frigid wilds and mountains of the dwarves. We're on our way to our destiny as a hunter to secure our very own bestial companion. When I was younger, I remember first playing WoW and a friend of mine said I should play a warrior as that was quite simple, but I never really quite gelled with that class. You could argue that I didn't really gel with any class because, as I said in the last video, I was god-awful at WoW. I didn't get how it played, what the point was, or what you should be aiming for. I knew it was a fantasy RPG, but that was about it. But one thing that was enthralling to me as a concept was the hunter class. I used to play Dungeons and Dragons as a teen and I was never really interested in, say, a ranger. I didn't care for being a great bowman, picking enemies off from afar. I didn't want to be the nimble wood elf dancing around and deftly spraying arrows about. I was, however, interested in the other side of the hunter, the pet. The idea that I could tame animals in World of Warcraft was exciting. Wolves, boars and bears. I liked the idea of travelling to certain areas to obtain certain pets. Maybe it had something to do with watching Beastmaster as a child. I remember in particular playing with a friend and him coming round with his hunter and his prowler pet. What a proud beast. I might have had a bog standard wolf for my hunter at the time, and that prowler was so cool. I wanted one. I think that was the first time in WoW, and indeed any MMORPG that was to follow, where I made my own quest rather than follow what the quest givers wanted me to do. I wanted to get a prowler for a pet, so my focus was only on completing quests and levelling up to a sufficient level to be able to tame it. One of those black ones from Duskwood. My own self-determined quest. This sort of thing happens all the time now in games where I put on hold the MSQ because I have thought of something I personally want to do instead, like get a certain pet, or get to that mountain in the distance, or find the right colour of dye so I can look fucking riztacular in an armour set that I will discard within a couple of levels as it becomes irrelevant. It's important to have your priorities right. Some games are even made with this sort of thing in mind, like you have to make your own fun. Recently I've been playing Pantheon Rise of the Fallen and there is, at this point in early access, no real quest other than go to some city and find a dude, who I guess will likely give us more quests, but until then I had to make my own fun, and that was my epic quest to earn enough money to buy 2 training daggers. Truly a tale for the ages. I'm getting slightly off topic, but I really want to convey how the idea of getting different pets pulled me off topic all those years ago. I probably wasted a fucking stupid amount of time I could have technically been getting good, just taming another pet because I found something new and cool out in the wild. Years later I would sit and read Petopia, looking at all the possibilities I could tame. I would go time walking to different expansions just to get myself these sick motherfuckers. Or get myself a pair of white crows. Or do a spirit beast quest, waiting in certain areas for a rare spawn for ages and ages. That was as much of a game as the game itself. It is safe to say that in retail, in vanilla, and in any other MMO that has a similar class, pets are my thing. So in the context of our adventure, reaching level 10 and going north to get our first pet is kind of a big deal. We touch down in Ironforge and hot-foot it to Karanos, where we can find Griff Wildheart chilling on top of a hill. He gives me the quest, Taming the Beast, and calls me a lad. We need to take the taming rod and find ourselves a cragboar. There he is. Come here, you little piggy. Taming seems to take a lot longer than it does in retail. We go back and show our fat hog to Griff, and he must not be that impressed as he sends us out to find some pussy.
Pussy Patrol.
So off we go again. As we're a hunter, we can track beasts, so this will display dots on our mini-map to tell us what animals are about, which is a massive help. We're given sort of single-use taming sticks for each animal we have to tame, and for possibly the first time ever in my life, I stopped to consider the words taming stick. What the fuck is a taming stick? How exactly does one tame with a stick? Is it implied that we beat the animals into submission? It appears in actuality we don't even use a stick, we just sort of waggle our hands in front of it and will hearts to come out of our heads. A quick Google of training sticks seems to bring up hair and makeup products, so maybe we just perm them into submission. Before we can tame a snow leopard, we have to say goodbye to Piggy, and so it is with a heavy heart that we... What the fuck? You little shit! Have that on toast, you little bitch. Right. Come here, kitty cat. And another one in the bag. Back up the hill to show Griff our pussy, and because nothing seems to impress him, we go back out to get a bear. So that's your thing, Griff. More power to ya. We find a bear and have to dismiss and slay pussy to continue, and I should probably explain for those that don't know that pets work a little differently in Classic. Like with most things, you have to work at it. In this case, you have to feed your pet to increase its loyalty. If you don't, it will eventually get sick of you and fuck off. So that is why these temporary pets attack you when dismissed, as they have no loyalty. The treacherous bastards. Anyway, we charm the bear, and the cheeky git punches me in the face after the tame had actually finished. I'll let that one slide. Back to Griff, and I present him with a bear, which seems to please him, and he tells us to fuck off to Ironforge to see Belia Thundergranite, which is a powerful name, who will teach us our pet care skills, and then we can get to the business of obtaining our first true pet of our own choosing. So we ditch our bear, batter it to death. Good night, sweet prince. And away to Ironforge. We get our skills and we are once more on our way back to Stormwind. Now, I want myself a pig, a ginger pig. Yes, I know it is a basic bitch move, but fuck you, that's what I want, and if my old creaky memory serves me, we should be able to get one in Westfell. So that's where we're going. As we enter the wide open farming plains, we get attacked by a wolf and killed. Well, I suppose it had been a while, and I do have a reputation to maintain, so we revive and run back to our corpse and get back to our porky business. We find the pig of our dreams, but another wolf attacks me. Leave me the fuck alone. Right, there it is, the ginger pig. But what? No, it's too high level. I can't tame it. Okay, let's get ourselves a rental wolf for a bit and go and grind up a level or two. Let's do this. As we keep dying, we retreat to Elwyn Forest, where we trade in our rental wolf for a long snout foster pig and get back on that grind. And finally, we're back at
Westfall,
level 12 and ready to get that piggy. There she is, what a beauty. Look at her beady little eyes and orange fur. Sadly, that's the end for you, foster pig. Time for you to dissolve into the ether. All good things come to an end. Come to me, sweet piggy. Yes! It is done. We are one. Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, I introduce you to Oi, fuck off! Brothers, sisters, and vistas, I introduce you to Rumham.
Rumham!
Now that I have Rumham, I enjoy roaming around
Westfall.
putting him to work. Look at him go, flying towards the enemy with nary a care in the world, munching on them dutifully upon my command to attack. His bloodlust knows no bounds. I wish I could say that Rumham's presence was enough to assuage my regular deaths, but at best we've probably shaved off a couple of percent. But we press on, and despite the deaths, I am still excited to have him at my side. The pet should in theory provide me with somewhat of a shield. It is like having your own tank travelling with you. You send it in to attack first and it draws the enemy's attention while you can sit back at a distance and pepper the enemy from range. If you generate too much threat by doing a lot of damage, then the enemy will turn from your pet and come and attack you. Some pets have abilities that will keep the enemy's attention on them, others have shields or other skills that will aid you. The pet is not without its downsides, it is after all a bit dumb and may well get you into trouble as much as get you out of it. But if your pet should die, then you are likely to be fucked. In retail, you can probably revive your pet during battle, as you have more ways to temporarily protect yourself and the revive happens much faster. It is very slow in Classic, so trying to revive mid-battle is probably not a good idea. In many ways, the best form of defense would be to just run the fuck away. And that is probably true of most classes. But in the right hands, I hear the Hunter class is one of the best classes for survivability. But hold my beer and we'll put that to the test. I stop to admire another man's hog. We spend some more time just levelling and running around
Westfall.
until I decide to take a break. While I get a cup of tea, I begin to ponder the time I have spent levelling to this point and wonder how the modern levelling experience compares to this classic experience. So I quickly hop into retail, create a human hunter, start in Northridge rather than Exile's Reach, and begin the process again. That way we have a benchmark. Many of the quests have changed slightly, as has the landscape, and it isn't more than 4 minutes in I have dinged my first level. I am also just blowing things away like they don't even exist. I feel this little uncomfortable feeling at the back of my mind, but I keep going. Another 4 minutes on and 2 quests handed in and I am level 4. And a side note, the kobolds are gone from the starting area and you now kill goblin assassins. Not really the same, is it? Before the 15-minute mark, I have tamed my first pet, for fuck's sake. We are literally moving so fast, I'm gonna need a neck brace. One thing I will say, having just spent considerable time levelling through this area in vanilla, is that much of the charm is now gone. I know we are technically at a different time in history and things have changed in the world, that's fine, but it just isn't the same. In total, I played for 32 minutes. I got to Goldshire, tamed my first pet and reached level 7. 32 minutes. Let that sink in. It was genuinely a bit jarring, but whatever. It is very early levels and that, so perhaps it's just a different levelling curve and it will slow down soon enough and we'll settle into a better rhythm. I log out and decide that a little later down the line I will come back and carry on this experiment. I get back to Classic and grinding out some quests. I'm quite enjoying the zone in general more than I remember from the past, where I thought it was all a bit sandy brownish, but it's not bad. I like the sort of roughness of the unfinished paths, which gives it a real rustic farmland charm. What I don't like is searching around for fucking sacks of cunting oats or a stupid horse called Binky, but you make your choices and you have to live by them, I guess. As I level, I start to experience the old school social aspect of Classic. Not that I engage in serious or deep conversation with anyone, just that because you will often get wrecked if you accidentally pull 2 or 3 enemies, it is literally in everyone's best interest to team up to get quests done, especially in
Westfall.
As with other areas where there are quite a few mobs that clump together and it is kind of impossible to pick one off and pull them away to a safe distance to take them out. Also, as I mentioned in the last video, it eliminates some of the frustration of competing with other players for kills. And so it is that you will just be in an area and you'll receive an invite to group, as you know that you are probably doing the same quest. And if you're not, then the way quests are designed and distributed, you can probably get your quest done while they get another quest done at the same time. And as you do it, you have friendly little conversations around how many of this do you need, and then you help them, or rather I help them. Some people just get what they fucking want and then just fucking leave. So other people, other actual human beings have become integral to my classic experience in a way they never would in retail. Thanks, Super Gabe. You truly were super. I take another break, and when I come back I log back into retail and play my hunter there for another hour and 10 minutes. At the end of that session I am level 11, so if we're keeping a tally, that is 1 hour and 40 minutes so far. Bear that in mind for later. In opposition to that, when I next log back into Classic, I grind away for another hour and manage to get to level 16. The difference is striking, but I am not really thinking about it too much as I am concentrating on progressing the hunter on Classic. I spend some talent points and buy some new skills, but a feeling is beginning to settle on me, and I don't know if I am enjoying this. Not the game, but the class. This doesn't feel like the hunter class I love, and the hunter class that I am familiar with. I know a lot of it is my skill level perhaps, and the difference in gameplay between retail and classic, but I am just sick of dying. I'm sick of if I don't get a jump on someone or something, and I don't have a massive stock of health potions, then I will just end up turning tail and running away only to be brought down. I'm starting to think that a rethink might be on the cards. Indecision is starting to grow. I tried to push this thought to the back of my mind, and to alleviate the frustration I was feeling in Westfell, I go for a change of scenery and make for the Red Ridge Mountains. At this point, we have worked our way through sort of 3 areas, excluding the ones that we ran through to get to Northridge, and I have to say, they are genuinely great areas, both in look and design. I said it earlier, but I remembered not liking Westfall when I was younger. This time around, I am really taken with it, and Red Ridge is no different. A distinct environment with its own charm, and just like those other zones, brings back memories from my past, mainly of those infuriating little whelp things that roast me up like a Christmas turkey when I least expect it. I feel like I remember grinding these later in the game when I was younger, and there is whelps all over the place, but I think that in hindsight it may have literally been these little suckers here. Maybe I didn't get as far into the game as I thought. I picked up some quests, but I think I may be a little underleveled for this area. But it is a nice change of environment, so we press on. And the more I press on, the more I die, and the more I can't shake the feeling. I feel like I need to have a bit more resilience, the ability to get myself out of a bind. Maybe a class with a heal or some sort of shield, some class where I don't have to manage ammo levels or stock in food to feed my pet and make sure it is operating at peak efficiency. Maybe it is my skill level. Maybe it's undiagnosed ADHD, but whatever it is, I just need to simplify things a bit. I wrestle with the amount of time I've put in already. Do I push on further, frustrated, or do I take this opportunity at this reasonably early point in the game to explore another class? So I log out and hit the character create button. But what will it be? Which class should I try? Join me next time where we address this crisis of faith in our mission to find that right class to carry us to level 60.